I'm Saion Gupta and I'm 11 years old. I'm the founder of 10xkids.com. And if you like this video, don't forget to smash the like button and share this video with as many people as you can. And if you're not subscribed to my channel yet, kindly do it so that you don't miss any of my videos. So without any delay, let's get started. And today we are gonna do the FS module in Node.js. So basically, the FS module is everything for file handling. So you do all your file handling. You create, delete, rename, um, read files, write files. You do everything with files in using the FS module. So using the FS module, you handle your files, you edit them, and you do everything with them. So this is gonna be quite an interesting video. If you like this, smash the like button and let's get started. Dab. So I'm gonna go to Google Chrome. I'm gonna go to W3 Schools. Uh, Node.js and file system, full form of FS. So the Node.js file system module. Node.js as a file server. So you can use Node.js as a file server also. Excuse me. The Node.js file system module allows you to work with the file system on your computer. So basically, it allows you to work with the file system on your computer. Okay. So to include the file system module, use the require method. So FS is like any other module in Node.js. You just need to like to use it. First of all, you need to include it using the require method. So let's go on to Visual Studio Code. Let's go to our Finder also. So Visual Studio Code is opening. In the document, I'll create a new folder. I'll just name this node.js. Are you sure you want to add a... Oh, don't add. Node rename. Huh. Okay, let's name it node only. So I have this Visual Studio Code. Sorry about this over here. How should I close this? Oh man. Let's go to terminal. cd documents cd node, and then we'll just do code dot. Oh man, what the heck? How should I open this in Visual Studio? Oh, oh yeah, fine. I'm not quite used to Visual Studio Code. When I did JavaScript on basically on driplet.com. I've just started working with Visual Studio Code like about a month ago. So I have not explored it a lot. So yeah, here we have an empty node folder. Let's create a file in here. Let's name this file system, file system.js. So here we have a file system.js. So basically, let's make a we don't need a HTTP server right now. So let's just import fs module. So variable fs is equals to require fs. Okay, save this and let's see. Let's go to the terminal, new terminal, and we are just gonna do basically node file system the js. Let's see. Oh, we have not created a server right now, right? So that's why there were no import errors. That's why, yeah, it's working. So common uses for the file system module. What are the uses of this fs module? It can read files, so you can read files using this fs module. You can create your own files using this fs module. You can update the files, so you can change existing files using this fs module. You can delete files, already existing files, you can delete them, and you can rename files. So this is a very handy module. So read files. So read files. The fs.read file method is used to read files on your computer. So basically you have a file, say it's a txt file, it's a html file, any type of file. If you want to read that file, for example it is an html file and you want to read it and then execute it, how will you do that? You need to read the file first using the read file method of fs. The read file method gives you data and error. So basically if there's an error in reading the file, it would give you an error object. If it is successfully able to read the file, it would give you a data. So data is basically, in data there's everything, and if you like just write just do response dot write data, so it would read that file, and whatever it has read, it would execute that. For example, it's an html file, you can say it is a string. So we will just check the type of that data. Let's first move on reading this, and when we will code, I'll explain you everything. So the fs.read file method is used to read files on your computer. So it is used to read files on your computer. Simple. Assume we have the following HTML file located in the same folder as Nodejs. So here we have a HTML file located in the same folder as our Node.js file is. So assume there's an HTML file. So let's create a HTML file. Let's create index.html. Let's just copy and paste this HTML. Let's just make a quick HTML. Doc type HTML. HTML. Oh man. Just killing me. Oh man. I'm so slow in VS Code. Let's create a head. Stupid head. You don't need it. So let's leave it like this. Let's create a body. In a body we are gonna give, what are we gonna give in our body? So basically in our body, let's give a h1. We are coding in Node.js. Oh man, let's bring this closer. Yep, in Node.js. Okay, so here we have a HTML file created. Now let's continue. Create a Node.js file that reads the HTML file and returns the content. So basically we are gonna read the file and then we are gonna return the content of it. Like basically we will display the content of it in us on a localhost 3000. So for that, let's create a server first. Variable http is equals to require http. Okay, and now what I'll show you, I forgot this to show you when I was teaching the http module, but I'll show it to you right now. Let's create a server. So basically let's do http.create server, and our usual syntax is basically like this. HTTP has a callback function, it has request and response. So basically most of the time we give it like request response, and like basically this, and dot listen on port 8080. So basically this is not so, like if you have a lot of code, say you have a lot of code, then if you write it directly over here, will it look good? Will your code look good if you directly write lot of lines of code in this block? No, it will not look good. So basically what you can do, you can create a function, for example execute function. Just like for example I have a function over here, execute. It has request and a response. Okay, and then we are just giving this execute. So what is happening in the internals? Let's try to see the internals of create server method. So at some point of time, the create server method will call this function over here that we give, the callback function, and it would pass it request and response. So if you haven't seen my JavaScript callbacks already, do check it out. I've explained all this in detail, but let's have a quick recap what is happening. So basically in create server method, so basically this must have create server must be having like somewhere function create server, for example. I just commented this out. So oh, so that's I don't I don't exactly remember if made you explain this in HTTP module, but it's okay. I'll just explain this once again. What is happening? So in create server, at some point of time, it it is getting a callback over here. So at some point of time, what it would be doing, it would be calling this callback like this, and it would give it request and response. Okay, it I don't like, there must be two objects. One would be request is equals to object, response is equals to object. Okay, so there must be two objects, and this is getting, it is calling callback at some point of time, and so like it is calling this function at some point of time. So basically we give execute over here. For example, we give execute over here, so it would call execute over here, and it would give it request and response objects that it has created, and then execute can work with the request and response objects. We don't know what are the request and response objects, but we know what the structure is in create server. Okay, so this was one thing. So now in our execute, let's basically over here we'll just read the file. So let's read the file, fs.read file. So we read a file using fs.read file, the read file method of file system. So in this, what we give, first of all we give the file name. So our file name that we want to read is index.html. So we want to read the index.html file. Then what this gets over here, it gets a function. So as I told you, so like we need to give a callback function over here, function error and data. So what is happening, this function is being called and it is getting error and data. So it would get error if there's an error, and it would get all the data. What is data? It is all this content in this file. So it would get data that we can show. How will we show that? We all know, first of all, if this is HTML and we want to show it in as HTML, we'll write a head over here as we learned in our previous video, and we'll give the content type as text or HTML. So then we will write response.write data. So Basically over here it is bringing all this HTML file and writing it. Okay, so if I didn't, I'll just experiment after this, and then we'll just do response.end. I till now have not understood. So when I was doing this chapter myself, I didn't know why it was giving this return keyword over here. So we don't need this return keyword. I tested it myself. We don't need it. So that's fine. So now let's run this file. What the heck? Localhost 8080. What is happening? Oh, save. Yep, now it's running. I didn't save that code. So just ignore this fab icon over here. I was just creating another project. So you see, we are coding in Node.js is coming as it was written over here in H1. For example, I didn't give this right head thing over here. For example, I don't give this. Let's restart the server. Reload this. What the heck? Just restart the server once again. What? Why is it? Basically, it is writing HTML data as HTML. It should have written it in like plain text, but it is writing it in HTML. So basically it must be taking it as HTML by default. So like it must have seen that .html, it is a .html file, so it is writing it as HTML. Okay, this is not the behavior I expected, but it's fine. It's fine. Let's try to run this on another port 3000. Command this, Control C. This is not running now. Let's go to 3000. Yeah, so it has seen that HTML, this is a HTML file, so it is showing it as HTML. The other thing I wanted to show you is this type of this. I wanted to show you the type of data. So what is the type of it? I most probably think it is a string. Most probably it is a string. Ooh, it's an object. So it's an object that we are writing over here. If I show you, if I just do JSON dot stringify this data, save this, I'll do this, and you see it's an object over here. Let's do this to string, uh, not to string. So you see it is in that object, there's this whole HTML file. So basically it is showing new line as this, and this is all the indentation that we give. Okay, so this is all the indentation. Okay, so basically I just wanted to show you this. It is an object. This data that we are getting, it's an object over here. It is an object and we are just showing it. So basically it is executing that file. So like we are just, oh, I just need to restart this server. So basically we are writing this data, so it is writing the HTML over here. Quite simple. Save the code in the above file called demo read file.js and initiate the file. If you have followed the same steps on your computer, you will see the same result. As the example, http localhost 8080. So let's have a sip. Now we have learned how to read the files. Reading files is very easy. You just give the file name. There's a callback function. It gets error or data. So if there's an error, it would get the error, and if there's no error, it would get the data of the file. So it would get all the data of the file. Then you can simply write it using response.write. So in the response, you can just write that file data. So we are writing data, so basically the data that we get of the data of the file, we are just writing it, and then we are just ending the response. Okay, so that's quite easy. But now, how to create the files? The tricky part has come. How to create the files? So the file system module has methods for creating new files. So it has some methods for creating new files. For example, an append file, open, or write file. So these three methods are used for creating files. Let's see one. Let's see them one by one. So the fs.append file method appends specified content to a file. So basically, you have a file. You can say it is a HTML file, a TXT file, any type of file, and it appends the specified content to a file. So for example, you want to write, you have a txt file and you want to write hello world, you want to add hello world. So like in that file there's nothing, and that you need to add something in that file using the fs module. You want to write, like, just add hello world into it. How can you do it? Like, if you use the append file method to add something. For example, there's some content already. For example, hi, this hi, and just you want to write, like, already there's hello in that file, and you want to add world into it. So you need to use the append file method. If the file does not exist, so if the file that you have specified in which you want to add the content, if it does not exist, the file will be created by the append file method. So it would be created using by the append file method if it does not find the file, and it would, in that file, it would write whatever we have specified. So for example, over here we are creating a new file using append file. So for example, we imported the fs module over here. Oh man, by mistake I opened something else. Sorry about that. Then we are using the append file my new file one.txt. So basically, we this file is not already there. Okay, and we're appending in this file this content. Okay, so basically it does not find the file, so it creates a file. So over here we have not made a file this named this file, we have not made a file with this name. So append file would create it, and in that it would, in the its content would be whatever we give after that file name. After the comma, whatever content is there will be the file's content, then comma, it would get we'll give a callback function, or it gets error. If there's an error, it would get error, and in this we'll check if error, throw error, so it would throw the error, and then we are just doing console.log saved. Okay, so let's try this out. So we can just comment this out. Okay, so we can just comment this out over here. We can just do fs.append file, and we can just do like test test.txt. So we don't have a file test.txt, so it would create a file test.txt, and in this we want to write hello world. Okay, so it will write hello world in that, and then there's a callback function. If there is an error, it would handle the error. If there's no error, it would console.log, it will console.log save, console.log saved. So just control C this file system. Just reload this. So it has saved this. Okay, so it has saved it over here. Check text.txt. So over here there's all the content, and we didn't need to add this in the server as we didn't need the server. So like, just delete this file to trash. Okay, and we'll just reload this. Control C, and not now. So it is showing saved, and test.txt is over here. We reload this over here. So basically it is showing us this over here because there's no response. So the client has no response, so the request is not being fulfilled. That's why it is showing site can't be reached and all. Okay, no need to worry about that, but a file is being made. For example, we run this over here again. What will happen? It finds a test.txt file, so it would not make a new file first of all, and it would, there's already some content in a hello world, so it would just add another hello world in it because it is appending. What does it mean? Adding. Like appending means adding, so that means it would not replace the already content that's there. It would not replace it, it would add the content in it. Okay, so if I run this now and go to test.txt, there are two hello worlds as there was one hello world already, and then this up this is appending in this test.txt. It is appending hello world in test.txt, and it is not finding any error. That's why it is showing a saved, and it is adding that hello world content that we gave over here. We can change the content, for example Saion, and then I'll just reload this. Oh, I didn't save it. Control C, and now if I check, there's a Saion over here. Okay, it's quite cool. So this append file method was quite cool. Let's see the open method. So the fs.open method takes a flag as the second argument. So there's basically a flag as the second argument. If the flag is w for writing, the specified file is open for writing. So basically fs.open method takes a flag as the second argument. So basically if you give r, that means you want to read the file, and if you give w, you want to write. You have opened it for writing. Okay, so the specified file is open for writing. If the file does not exist, an empty file is created. If the file does not already exist, an empty file is created. Okay, so let's try this over here. So basically, let's comment this out. We can just do fs.open. So we can just do test2.txt. As it does not exist, it would create a new file. We are opening it in a writing mode. Okay, and then this function, callback function, gets two arguments, error and file. Okay, we'll just see what this file argument is for. So if it finds an error, it would throw an error, or it would do console.log not saved. It will show, oh, saved. Okay, and now what we are gonna do, we are gonna check. So we'll just add this over here in this execute method because we want to show something on the server. And what we are gonna do, we are gonna do response dot write file. So let's see what is file. So we save this, control C, server is running. Now I go to the server. We have to end the response also. So response dot end. We didn't end the response, let's end it. Command S. Let's run this over here. Reload this. What the heck? What is happening? Let's write type of file. So it is a number. Over here the file is a number. Oh man, are you kidding me? It's a number? Why the heck is it number? Okay, let's leave it. So for now we don't need to go that deep, as it is just some overview of this thingy. An open method, I don't think it's that useful. Okay, so basically it's not that much useful, I think so. I've not used it much, so I don't know basically, but I don't think it's that much useful. Okay, so we have more methods like write file, read file, and then we have append file. So we have lots of methods. I don't know why we need a open method. So finally, okay, let's understand this, what this is teaching over here, that we can just open a file. If it does not exist, it will create a file. Create the file with empty content. So now the write file method. So the fl.write file method replaces the specified file and replaces the specified file and the content if it exists. If the file does not exist, a new file containing the specified content will be created. So what, this is quite interesting. The write file method, if that file exists that you have specified, then it would just like basically it would recreate that file, leave the previous one, and whatever content you give is now the new content. So basically it does, you can also say that it just overrides the content of the file. Okay, if it exists. If it does not exist, it creates a new file containing the specified content. Okay, so basically create a new file using the write file method. So variable fs is require fs. We are just doing fs.write file. So my new file 3.txt, so it does not exist, so it will create a new file. In that there will be hello content and function error, if error, through error, or console.log saved. Quite easy. So we'll just comment this out also over here. fs.write file. For now, let's create a new file. So test3.txt. Quite cool, tab 9. Okay, test3.txt. In this, if error, through error, and console.log saved. So over here it will create a new file with the content Saion in it and show us saved. So it is showing us saved and it has created this file Saion. So now if I do this once again, so and I give the content Saion 2, what will happen? Try to guess what will happen according to the knowledge we have just gained. It would just overwrite the content in the file. So it is not like append file. Append file adds the content to the file, whereas write file overwrites the content. They are two different things. Overwriting the content means changing the whole content, but adding the content means that adding some content to the existing content. For example, the over here we have given Saion 2. So it would in test3.txt there will be only Saion 2, okay, as write file overrides it. So if we check, this Saion 2 as write file has overwritten all the content in test3.txt as it was, as it found it was existing, so it overrode the content that was there. So we have just learned create files. That was quite cool. I like that chapter a lot. Comment down below if you like create files and which method is the best of create files. Now another very interesting topic is updating files. So the file system module has methods for updating files also. So it has methods for updating files also. So over here it is showing us the same methods. But yeah, in a way, W3 schools is correct, as append file was creating files when it didn't found the file. And it is used for updating files. What is the meaning of updating files? Changing existing content in a file is updating the file. So append file and write file, both of these methods are changing the existing content in the file. That's why they are used for updating files also, and they are used for creating the files also. So let's read this. We'll just read this quickly as we have already done this. So the fs.append file method appends the specified content at the end of the specified file. So we all know this. Like before, W3 schools was showing us an example of creating the file, but now it is showing us the example of appending new stuff to the file, adding like content to the file. So append this is my text to the end of the file, my new file 1.txt. So this is just adding over here. We know append file adds uh, content to the end of the file. So append file, it is using append file. W3 schools is using append file just for adding content to the file. Then we have write file. I'm not writing this code, as I've already shown you this before only when we were doing create files. So side by side we just did updating files also. We did updating files not knowing that we were doing it. Okay, so let's read this. The fs.write file method replaces the specified file and content. So basically it um, replaces all the content in that file. So replace the content of the file my new file 3.txt. So if there's some content in my new file 3.txt, it would override all the content. We have already seen that. So now an interesting topic comes in our mind. We have learned to create files, we have learned to read files, we have learned to update files. How can we delete the files? How can we delete a file from a server? We are not using a file and we want to just move it to the trash. We are quite lazy for deleting it with our hands. Okay, so just write a little bit of code and you can delete the file. How can you? Let's see. Deleting files is very important uh, as sometimes you need to delete files that are unnecessary. So to delete a file with the file system module, use the fs.unlink method. So there's a fs module has an unlink method that deletes a file. So the fs.unlink method deletes the specified file. So for example, this stupid test.txt that was creating use it created using the open method is not being used for testing purposes also over here. So how can we remove it? Let's just do like let's comment this over here. So comment it over here, and we'll just do fs.unlink. So we are unlinking the file test2.txt. So we need to unlink the file text2.txt, and for error handling we are checking for errors, function error, and if there's an error, throw the error and just console.log deleted. Yep, command S, control C, and now it is showing us deleted. And if we see over here, VS Code is showing test2.txt is deleted. So let's close it, and in a file node folder also can we have no idea where the test2.txt is. But if we go to the trash over here, the bin, we'll see somewhere, and sister also, my sister, so many stuff. So where's that stupid test2.txt? So yeah, it is over here only, we can't find it. So it is basically deleted. Test2.txt is deleted. Okay, quite cool. Rename files. Oh, I was waiting for this. I love renaming files, man. I literally love renaming files using the file system module. It is so cool that I love it. So to rename a file with the file system module, use the fs.rename method. So basically, you just need to use the rename method. So easy. It's so easy. Just use the rename method and you can rename a file. So basically, the fs.rename method renames the specified file. Rename my new file 1.txt to my rename file.txt. So what we can do in rename files, so let's remove this stupid code, as we don't have a test2.txt. How will it delete it? So we have commented out this code, and now we want to rename this test3.txt, looking quite odd. Only a test, there's no test2. Why is there a test3? So let's rename this fs dot rename. Okay, so give the file name that you want to rename. The file name that we want to rename is test3.txt, and we need to rename to test2.txt, right? We want to rename it to test2.txt, so just write test2.txt over here, and then if there's an error, just do check for if error, throw error, and then console.log renamed. And now if we save this, if we run this over here, you'll see there's no test3.txt. Test3.txt has been renamed to test2.txt. This is so cool. I love renaming files using the fs module. It is so cool, guys. Just need to give a file name that you want to rename and just give the new name, and just check for error. If there's an error, then throw that error, or else console.log renamed. So cool, so easy. This is so easy, so cool, so efficient, so fast. This is the best. fs module is the best. Finally, we have upload files. You can also use Node.js to upload files to your computer. Read how in our Node.js upload files chapter. So this will be our next video. Next video will be on upload files only. I'm really excited for this video over here. So we need to wait till the next video. I can't wait, but yeah, we can't exceed this video a lot because I have a bonus for you. I didn't tell you, but I have a surprise for you, a coding surprise for you. Basically, here we have learned to create files. What if you need to create folders? What if you need to create folders, man? Oh man, this is very cool. I'm not gonna teach you how to create folders. So let's see. For a better explanation, how I'll just go on Google how to create folders using fs module node.js. I know how to do it, but basically for your better explanation, um I'm using this. Okay. Oh man. Mac is irritating. Mac is irritating. Okay, so let's see what is happening over here. We are just using the makedir method. Makedir creates a folder. Okay, and basically over here a new directory can be created like this. But create parent directories and basic example. Let's do the basic example. So basically we need to require fs, as we all know. Then what we can do, fs.makedir. So what this makedir does, this creates a new directory. And what we now want to do, we can just give a new directory name. So like this over here, and we can just give a new directory name, node2 makedir. Let's give it makedir. Okay, and then we just need to check for an error. Okay, so if we just need to check for an error. If error, throw error, else console.log created. Save this, and now created. And look at this, guys, look at this. We have just created a directory, man. Like, you see, this directory has been created. Like, we just use the makedir method, and we wanted to create it in the current directory, so we just give dot slash, so that creates it in a current directory. Then we give the folder name that what we wanted to name it. Then we did this for handling errors. So for if there was an error, it would just throw an error, else it would console.log created. It console.log created, so that's why there was no errors. That means it created it successfully. And over here we have a directory created successfully. Wasn't this cool? If you like this video, guys, smash the like button, guys, because your support and love will make me give you content like this every time. So we have just learned about all about the file system module. Thank you, guys. If you like this video, don't forget to smash the like button and share this video with as many people as you can. And if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, kindly do it so that you don't miss any of my videos. Thank you, guys. Bye. Stay safe, stay healthy, and keep watching my videos. Dab!